Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe, like, and comment, of course. Today I really wanted to kind of go into a deeper diving into a powerful and transformational topic related to self-realization and how it plays a crucial role in different type of relationships that we are in or we're building in life. I mean, it's a topic that um, goes into the fundamental aspects of um, whether our relationship with our friends, our spouse, um, cousins, relationship in general, professional relationship, work-related relationship. So many of us have many different type of relationships, and sometimes these relationships are interconnected in different ways, and sometimes they're not. And even I think one of the most important relationship that we tend to forget about or not think about is a relationship with ourselves. So whether it's a family member, a friend, a partner, even ourselves, understand that we truly are shapes the way we connect with others. As we navigate through these relationships, we often discover that the most important relationship is the one we have with ourselves. And the reason why I say that is we need to understand our own needs, our values, and the boundaries we create in our lives, or the boundaries that we have in our lives to create stronger, healthier connections with others. Because if we don't have good boundaries in our lives, that means that, for example, let's say we have a friend that this friend will come and share, you know, about things in their lives that's not going great. But then when the time comes for you to kind of reach out and have that same type of dialogue, it's never the same case because this person wants to just talk about themselves. So we have to find ways to create boundaries in different ways, and that boundaries could be, even just be having a conversation like, okay, I see what type of relationship that we have, so therefore I need to act accordingly and be a specific type of way, which doesn't have to be a bad thing. It just means that it's healthy. We have to have healthy categories of where we put different type of relationships. Of course, you wouldn't do the same thing when it comes to your spousal relationship. Of course, that's a different type of relationship. So therefore, that the relationship needs to be navigated in a different way. So anyways, in this video, I'm gonna, explore this, what self-realization looks like, and the different types of relationship, and how becoming more aware of our inner selves can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections, right? So as I was saying, like when it comes to a partner, right? Let's first talk about what is actually self-realization. What does that mean? And it really means that, self-awareness, which is crucial part of a healthy relationship. We have to be aware of our own shortcomings, boundaries that we set for ourselves, and even just understanding how to set boundaries. Because I think sometimes we talk about boundaries, we think about it like, oh, we completely have to just shut that person out of our lives, and that's not necessarily true. It could simply just mean that, we share certain things with that person, or we'll reach out to that person on special occasions, or whatever the relationship gives, or whatever you give the relationship, and whatever the other person gives to you in return, you would I think you would return the same type of connections, right? And just to kind of give an example, like I was saying earlier, like you have that friend who will reach out only when there's a crisis or something going on or something with them. They don't reach out to ask you about how you're doing, how things are going with you, and actually spend the time to listen. So it's good to be aware of that. This way you don't try to connect with that person beyond just I guess in a sense the superficial of what's going on, because you know that person is just calling you just to connect and share what's going on with them, but not, you know, listen to what's going on with you, or even checking in and find out what's going on with you. Now, the issue that comes into place or could come into place is this a relationship that's healthy, and is it beneficial to you? Because sometimes we have to let go of certain relationship, and when I say let go, that doesn't mean, once again, stop talking to the person unless that's the, you know, the positive choice that you want to make in your life. It could simply mean that that relationship has like an end date of some sort, if that makes any sense, or it's not somebody who you would probably carry long term, right? Because that person will be, in a sense, dumping things on you. And when someone is going through some negative things in their lives, I mean, how much can you actually hold on to? Unless you are a therapist. I feel like therapists, we tend to hear a lot of different things that's going on with people, that's going on in their lives, and sometimes, you know, those things are heavy, and they, you know, those patients come to sessions to kind of explore different ways to deal with their issues, right? So you're trained to deal with, you're trained to listen and compartmentalize the different type of issues that's going on. But people in our regular lives, sometimes that could be too much, right? And it also depends on what's going on. I heard this from Tyler Perry, a Tyler Perry movie, where he talks about different type of seasons, and I think also that relates back to our relationships, our self-realization, our self-awareness, understanding what type of season we're in when it comes to our relationships. And what simply means is, like, you know, just like the season, you know, like the tree, during the fall months, the leaves fall off. So I feel like it's kind of the same type of understanding, is that not all relationship is going to last, and sometimes they're just in your life for a short time, and that's okay. I think the issue becomes when we start to kind of hold on, you know, grasp and hold on to something longer than it the shelf life, in a sense, right? When it comes to our partner, that's a different type of relationship, and I do agree with the idea that partnership is very difficult, and you've got to constantly work at it, right? If you're going into a relationship with someone and you think that it's going to always be 50-50, it's not always going to be 50-50. And it usually isn't 50-50, right? Sometimes it's going to be 80-20, 75-25. Yes, the goal is to always be at a you know, balance each other out, but depending on what's going on with each individual person, because even though we're in unit, when we leave our house and we go out for work, or we go down the street, somebody may upset us. There might be issues going on financially. There might be medical issues going on. So sometimes, you know, one partner is, in a sense, giving more than the other. But that is what relationship is. It's a constant work. But it's a beautiful thing. If you can at least get that balance, it's a beautiful thing. And understanding what season you are in when it comes to that type of your partnership. But yes, wondering how personal growth can affect the way we relate to others. You know, it's important. Like, we have to be first understanding where we are in our lives, with ourselves, right? If you're a needy person, maybe you need somebody who is a giver, right? But once again, I think that can become a little bit boring, because over time, we don't want to constantly be the one giving and not receiving, right? So I think it's important to also have clear communication, to make sure that we each understanding our role in our relationship, and sometimes that conversation has to be had, and it's uncomfortable conversation at times, but it's an important conversation. Other relationship in our lives, professional relationship, right? When we go to work, and let's say that it's a 9 to 5, 10 to 6 job, when we're there for that time, we're doing the work, and I know it's kind of easier said than done, right? You go to work, and when you finish at 5 o'clock and you finish at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m., you clock out, and the work stays there. Whatever you didn't get to finish that day at work, you're just going to leave it at the office. But we know that that's not always the case. Sometimes that comes on with us. But I think, once again, that goes back to understanding ourselves, be able to monitor ourselves and check in with ourselves is very important, because some of us don't know how to kind of let go of things. The work is always going to be there, tomorrow. Nobody's going to take it. It's going to still be waiting for you. So the same goes, once that shift is over and you're on your way home, or you get home, it's a different, you're in a different space. So you got to let go of that, the issues or any relationship in the office that wasn't working out. It's important to just kind of learn how to move past it. At least if it has to be, you got to put a pin in it. That's also important. I think when it comes to relationship and we are in a tough place, we tend to want to deal with everything and fix everything right away. But in the moment, sometimes the information, or even just how to fix it, is not readily available, because we are in a hot space, right? So it's important for us to just kind of put a pin in it, and have time to process, maybe just even walk away and do something else, and then go back to it, because we don't want to say the wrong thing, and then that could mean losing a job, losing an actual friend, but not being able to see our own faults, or even the spouse not being able to see our own faults, because we wanted to keep hitting and knocking that nail. So it's better to just kind of put a pause on it, and then return to it at a later time, when you're able to be more in a different mindset and space. Yeah, I think it's also important to consider the relationship with her children, right? A lot of people, or some parents, want to be friends with their kids, and I'm not saying that you can't be friends with your children, but at the end of the day too, what's the most vital and important relationship is being their parents. And being their parents mean that sometimes you're going to make rules, or you're going to communicate with them about something that they did wrong, and they're not going to like it. So that's always going to be being their parents, being an authority figure, making sure that you're teaching them the right thing, and how to be good human beings, and how to have good, healthy relationship. And as I said, not just with the people around us, but we have to know how to have good relationship with ourselves. And it's not, we wake up one day and we just know how to be the most wonderful, gracious person and take care of ourselves. I think when it comes to ourselves, we're usually one of the last person to get what our body needs, what our mind needs, what our physical needs are, because we're busy taking care of everyone. Especially if you're a parent, you always putting your children needs above yours. And I used to tell my patient, and I still do tell my patient, that when we consider that ourselves, we think of ourselves as like, let's say a canna works the same way, or our body works the same way, where we have to keep refueling ourselves, right? In order for our energy to be high, in order for us to be at a balance where we're not angry all the time, or distance, we need to be able to that check in and kind of refuel when needed. You know, it's like a gas tank. We can't run, a car can't run on an empty gas. We can't run on an empty gas. Well, run on no energy, I should say. So it's important for us to make sure that we are checking in with ourselves. So I just thought that, you know, I wanted to kind of just talk about this a little bit, self-realization, self-actualization, because I recently wrote a miniature article, and some facts that kind of shadowed throughout was that, you know, we tend to, a lot of us, especially in the medical field or leadership role, or we tend to think about everything else and everyone else, but we tend to avoid what our needs are. It sometimes seems easier, but in the long run, that just leads to burnout, anger, and even losing some of our most distinctive and important relationships in our lives. So, yes. Please, if you're new here, please subscribe. Please like, comment. We're not always going to agree on everything, so please make sure that if you're going to comment, you're commenting in a more respectful way, and understanding that our, you know, our perspective are completely different, and that's okay. Open to, you know, new perspective. So have a good day, and I will see you next time in my next video.